Alright, so today I'm going to be finishing up the TrailFinder. So I'm going to be working on the electronics. I'm going to pop off the body here. It's going to have 4 screws each side, and then the body clips in the bed of that truck. That's another thing, those body pins, or not body pins, but the body posts will probably end up cutting. It's quite the eyesore. Not really needed anyways. Box is pretty well secured to the rest of the cab. Alright, so I'm going to get that off. Get the servo out for steering. I'm going to mention this right away because I messed up on this. I installed it this way, but ultimately it should have been installed lengthways to allow for room with the motor. You'll be able to see that once I start installing the motor. By that point, I would have had moved it around. Alright, so we're going to have 4 screws, 2 each side to hold that servo in place. And here the servo arm. Had some issues pulling it off. Needed the pliers in the long run. Alright, so from that point on, I used a 10mm screw and a locking nut, which will connect it to the steering link. Alright, so now I'm going to connect it to the servo. Had to turn it a few times to get it to line up properly. And there we go. So now for the shifting servo, I had an old Traxxas 2755, I forget what it is. The same one that's on the Slash. It is waterproof and it's strong enough to shift this guy. So what we're going to find here is 2 screws and add thread lock because it's going into metal posts. It's going to hold that servo in place. Alright, and we'll connect the links later. Now onto the motor. You get a better look at it, but the servo's already moved. Alright, so 2 screws into the motor, hold it in place. I like to add a little bit of thread lock to this. Make sure it doesn't vibrate out. Set your gear mesh and tighten away. Alright, now for the ESC, we're going to be using servo tape. Cut that off. Ready to mount, and this will hold there forever. Plug in our motor leads. Now to the receiver. We get aux, throttle, and steering. And my waterproofing for this, as always, a balloon. Tried, tested, and true. Never had any issues with it. Throw in our zip tie. And we got a waterproof receiver. Got the excess off the ties. And this electronic box, as suspected, not going to be using, so I'm going to throw that to the parts pile. And now we're going to use another larger zip tie to get everything locked in on top of the servo. So that's going to be the placement for the receiver. And we're going to tuck the leads for the steering away, because that's right in harm's way by the spur. Follow along on the chassis rail as well. Alright. So this is what we ended up with. I tied everything up after. As you can see, the servo has been replaced, or not replaced, but moved around. All our leads are fine. Linkages is there. So that's it for the install of the electronics. Gonna get us a battery here and test everything out. Alright, so we're gonna connect the battery. Slipped here, easier said than done. Alright, connect the battery. Power on the ESC. Dig on the transmitter. Found the proper model. Alright, so good to give it a go. Just trying to make sure my fingers aren't in the drive line. I can't grab nowhere. Pretty clean chassis, not much underneath other than the drive shaft and the transfer case. Alright, so shifting into first and then in second. No issues there. I would recommend make sure that your travel endpoints are perfect. You don't want that servo humming once it's shifted in position. Get hot and burn it out quick. But we are done. Truck's running, ready to hit the trails. So guys, thanks for watching. Please thumbs up and subscribe.